Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't knock it till you try it. Those who can't change their mind can't change anything. Why am I saying all these quotes? It's it's all interconnected in a way to do with one word specifically. Generalization. Generalizing. Like the general and then insert suffix tree. Whenever I'm talking about generalization, it can get tricky because the main thing about generalization is actually let me start off with the meaning of generalization first of all. I don't know why I'm talking like such a robot. I always have this problem. But it's a general statement or concept obtained by inference from specific cases. That's the Google definition. What I think of it as, oh my god, dude, I'm messing with my microphone too much. I'm sorry. The thing about generalization is, at least from what I've seen from observing people that I know closely, people that I don't know at all, it's that generalization a lot of times is just based on their experiences. And that's really like what a lot of, I'd say, disrespectful generalization, whether it's disrespectful or like lacking empathy in their generalizations. The thing is, it comes from a place of people just having experiences, and a good amount of them are limited. It's not even like these people are cracking double digit experiences of what they have, because if you ask, name the 10 experiences you've had, like whether like the 10 people, like just verbatim what happened, and they'll be blank. They'll be like, wait, like it should, like, I just did it. Just know that, like, you gotta accept that I have had these experiences before. But it's like, if you can't even remember verbatim why you have this feeling and why you made this generalization, it's kind of funny, because it's like, what are you? Because then it's like, what are you basing it off of? Basing it off of? Jeez, I cannot talk, bro. Oh my goodness, this is such a horrible first start to a video. I mean, I'm back and stuff. Like, for people that used to look at my videos before, but the thing is, generalization, a lot of times I just don't really fancy it. It's not something that I really seek, because a lot of times, well, at least seriously, for comedic purposes, of course, like, like, people can do generalizations and I'll laugh because I'm like, "Oh, it's funny." But when people actually have these serious generalizations, I just pay no mind to it, because it's like, it's come from a lack of experience. Am I really going to base it off a 3 or 4 sample of a person in life? Like, no, of course not. That's number one. And also number two, it comes from a place of ignorance. Like, you've seen it. Like, people usually, like, you could tell when somebody's actually deciphering like an experience they've had that is like something they really cherish and they really care for and they really took the time to really think about. But then when you see somebody who has a lack of or has a lack of intelligence in how they talk, they're talking from a place of ignorance. You can tell right then and there, because it's usually loose language. Sometimes, like, I'm fine with people using slang, like, whenever they talk, especially for like other, like, like, good experiences that they have. I'll always listen. But the overuse of slang, like, you could see it for real whenever people are talking from a place of ignorance. That's another one. Like, I mean, at least from all the times that I've seen it from people. But the thing about general, but that's usually like what I catch whenever people are having these hasty generalizations. Let's even get into it. The thing about hasty generalizations is that it's a really damning thing when it comes to people talking about arguments when they're going to bat for a certain aspect. Because a lot of times, like, these hasty generalizations, they're only based on like two or three experiences, and people just stick to it in their head, and they're just like, yeah, this is how it is. This is why I'm saying it, because this is how it is. And then they'll find like three other people that have that same notion and that have had those three exact experiences and use them as evidence, when it's like, in all honesty, until like I actually see, like, like evidential proof, then I'll use it. Because this is the biggest thing that I've realized: experience is not evidence. I'll just repeat it one more time: experience is not evidence. Basically, what people like to do a lot when it comes to arguments, when it comes to generalizations, they'll use their experience as a form of evidence, when it's like, that's not the case. That's just you talking about your own opinion. You talking about your observation of what I had, which is another thing that people have, which is observer bias. Because usually a lot of times people cling on to the experiences that they want to cling on. Think of it like this. You or your eyes are a camera. I remember this one like motivational speaker. Like I was just randomly watching like motivational speaker videos one day, and this one dude made a point that really stuck with me. Pretend your eyes are a camera. And the thing is this, let's say you're at a party. Let's say there's like a million scenarios happening in front of your eyes. But what are your eyes going to do? They're going to go look at what you in your head want to look at. So for example, let's say there's two people over there chatting about whatever they're chatting about. There's people like, drinking. There's people dancing. Your eyes are like a camera. And basically, you're going to take a picture of whatever you want to take a picture of. It's like you're going into a garden and you are or like a garden. I mean, it's like you're going to a park and let's say you're a photographer and you want to take a picture of what you want to see. And a lot of times that's the bias that comes in when it comes to generalizations because people only want to see what they want to see. And a lot of times and that'll turn into confirmation bias because then what will happen is they'll see certain aspects that do refute what they do that are refuting against what they believe is the case when they generalize, but then they'll pay no mind to it. They'll be like, you know what, I'm not taking that picture. I'm only taking a picture of this, of what I want to see. That's the scary part of what happens when it comes to people that generalize and they try to use it in arguments. They are blind to the fact that the notions that are refuted against them, they won't pay no mind. They'll use words like that's an anomaly case, or that never usually happens, or like everything, not everything is perfect. Like that kind of language, like the dismiss language of like it's like they acknowledge that it exists, but they don't acknowledge it as the norm. And that's a scary part of generalization because you just pay no mind to what really like a good amount of times is the truth and you just go for your own truth because or your own truth as in what you believe is with your bias. And one of the and I know you're probably like, why are you just saying such like loose like with no examples of it, like at least no personal examples of it. And oddly enough, this whole video is kind of like me generalizing people that generalize. That's the funny part. But I'm just talking about what I observe. Of course not everybody is like this. Of course, I've met a good amount of people that are really, like actual observers, keep it objective. They don't like, generalize in a bad way. And like usually they do it for comedic effect. I'm just saying what like I've observed from like certain people that I've hung around, certain people that I don't know, and just like social media. And the thing is this, one of the biggest examples I could say that there's like it could go on for millions of years of just different opinions, different opinions and generalization forms, and just like constantly going back and forth is the men versus women battle. That that battle has been going on for millenniums. What is the plural word? Somebody in the comments tell me because I'm not smart. Please help me. but but seriously, the men versus women battle has been going on since God knows how long. And one of the things is a lot of it is generalizations. You just see women saying, "Ah, men are always like this." Ah, and then you usually see men are like, "Oh, these women are always like this." Oh, like just like constantly going back and forth. And at first, obviously because I'm a man, like and stuff. Like at first, I used to be like, "Yeah, man, fuck these bitches." Like they're always like this and that and stuff. Like when I was in high school, but then as I got older, and also as I've just interacted with both men and women equally, it's just both sides. People, because one thing that men and women love to do is they love to have this like victim mentality of like, man, it's only them, it's never us. We never do anything wrong. They are the only ones that do wrong. Yeah, when I meet both of them, it's like, bro, both of y'all suck. Nah, but it's like both of y'all do what y'all say that they're doing. funny enough. It's like I'm meeting like a bunch of hypocrites and they're just bickering at each other that they're the ones that the other side is the hypocrites, even though both of them really are. It's like you know what it reminds me of? Do you remember that Spider-Man meme where it's like two Spider-Mans and they're like this and then this? But it reminds me of that because it's like both of y'all just both of y'all just saying stuff that y'all it's a projection. It's projection, like just textbook. That's the funny thing that I always found from both sides. And what's so funny is when you go against that grain, like let's say they make like a hasty generalization. Look, we'll go to that. A hasty generalization and you refute against it. The comments that you'll receive from either side. Ugh. So for example, let's say you're a man and you're in a group of bunch of women and you try to say that like, hey, that's not really like something like, and they're being serious. It's not no joking manner. Like I'm talking about people that are actually serious, just to reiterate so that way nobody's confused. But let's say they're making an actual serious hasty generalization. You'll be like, wait, that's not how it is. That doesn't happen. The first remark I'll hear from women, ugh, well, this is misogynist. Oh, this misogynist is just you just hate women. You want to beat them, like that kind of thing. But then, like, let's say you go to the men's side and you do the same thing where it's like, let's say they make a hasty generalization about women. You're like, whoa, that's not the case and stuff. Oh, you pander. Oh, you just want to fuck women, huh? They're not gonna fuck you. Like like it's so funny when you try to defend both sides from being like in a different perspective. It's comedy because it's like the way people just get agitated, men and women. It's literally the same thing, just with different terms. It's honestly funny as hell when you do it. Like I would advise any of y'all if you actually do that, hilarious. But in all seriousness, I actually do believe a good amount of the shit that I say whenever I'm defending like either side, and people seriously believe what they're saying, like the remarks that they're saying to me when I'm refuting against them. Because and it's so odd to me because it's like, how are you guys so like serious about these generalizations? Because like we all know it's a scary thing because like it comes from ignorance, and it further enables ignorance when it comes to like other people agreeing with that behavior, and also it comes to a point of people embracing it and using it, and that's the power of influence. And then people like to downplay influence, saying that it's not a serious thing when it is the case. Like as much as people don't want to talk about it, everybody gets influenced in a way every single day. And I don't want to dive too deep into the influence talk because that could be for a different video. But just to start right here, one of the biggest things that I've learned throughout my life that's helped me to stop generalizing is to have an open mind. Be open to the possibility that maybe what you used to think was wrong, and let me see other ways. Whether it proves you right, whether it proves you wrong, the point is go into that with an objective mind. Go with that saying, I want to learn, I want to be better, I don't want to be proven right. Because that's one thing a lot of people love to do. They love to want to be right instead of wanting to learn. So that's one thing you should really avoid. And does it for the first video. See ya.